What's up, guys? Welcome back to Picture Breakdown. This is my full breakdown of Hawkeye Episode 4, Partners. Am I right? Spoiler warning for the episode. Alright, so Kate goes up to the LARPers to find the officer who can get the trick arrows for them, and she introduces herself as
Officer Wendy Conrad, better as Elsbeth of Deepdale.
In the comics, Wendy Conrad is a mercenary who specializes in explosives and juggling. She is specifically versed in creating, preparing, and defusing them. This affiliation with bombs is what gets her alias in the comics, Bombshell, which gets referenced later in the episode.
My wife gave me this bag. It's embroidered. It says Bombshell.
I can see that it's very important to you.
In the comics, she and a few other mercenaries were hired to kidnap Hawkeye, but he fights them off with his partner, Mockingbird, which is very important, so keep that in mind. I believe that this reference is teasing the reveal that Clint's wife is a retired SHIELD agent, codenamed Mockingbird. But let's look at the evidence. So, during the episode, Clint asked her to search up Sloan Limited, and she was able to find out that the company is a front for laundering money to the Tracksuit Mafia. This is not something that you can just Google, and Laura had to have some kind of SHIELD-based source to get this information. We then see her speak German, wondering if anything had gone missing from the compound, which she seems to be more worried about than Clint does. And they talk about the Rolex, which apparently would expose somebody that Clint cares about, maybe implying that the Rolex has some sort of memory chip that might be able to expose Laura as a retired Mockingbird. So at the end of the episode, we see Yalena Balova fighting Clint, attempting to kill him, but we don't get the reason in the episode for why Clint is being targeted by her, and that's because the reason came in the post-credit scene for Black Widow.
Maybe you'd like a shot at the man responsible for your sister's death.
So, Val, who we met in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, hired Yelena to kill Clint, and her motive is that Clint supposedly killed Natasha, referring to Natasha's death in Endgame. We then get another interesting bit of information when Clint says,
Someone is hired. The Black Widow assassin.
So, Clint knows full well about the Red Room and the fact that there are other Black Widow assassins. Natasha herself didn't know that the Red Room was still operating before the events of her movie, so we can assume that she told Clint all about that after her movie, which takes place in the time after Civil War and before Infinity War. I enjoyed this episode quite a bit. It seemed to have a little more action than the last one, especially when it came to the fight against Yelena Balova, which was pretty cool. There was also this little move that Kate did where she used her bow to slide along the ground, which I thought was also kind of cool. And then just the overall fight was just fun. The reveal of Yelena was interesting, but for me, I already knew she had been confirmed for the show for quite a while now. I think one of the biggest things that interested me the most in this episode was the whole aspect of Laura Barton's character and how maybe she could be the retired SHIELD agent Mockingbird, but there's also the whole thing with the Rolex, and this episode does a really good job of keeping you interested what this Rolex is and who it might reveal. Overall, very solid episode. I don't think I liked it as much as episode 3, so I think I'm going to give it more like an 80 out of 100. Before you go, if you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, put down any questions or comments, and let me know if you think that Laura Barton is a retired SHIELD agent Mockingbird. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next breakdown.
Just gotta make sure you get that curve. It's just a little one, but you got it, right? Oh, God.